Hey folks, Smith Banfield returning for day 3 of my 30-day challenge on Periscope. Made my life easy. I did this. Look, now I don't have to set up the whole time. So, let me just get situated. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So, I'm Smith Banfield. My company is called Clear Space. I'm having technical difficulties at the moment. And I teach people how to live with less so they can bring in more. I'm sorry, I have to fix this because you don't need to see my ceiling. I teach people how to live with less so they can bring more order, beauty, efficiency, and joy into their lives. I approach it from a standpoint of fun and really want people to realize they don't have to take it so seriously. They don't have to punish themselves for not being organized. This is a learned behavior. Some people have it naturally, doesn't mean you can't learn it. And I'm here to show you a couple ways to do that. So today's topic, we are part 2 of going paperless. And I just have to pull this up on my computer. Really, I want you to think about in terms of your banking. Now, when I started this business 4 years ago, I did not have any statements come home. I didn't have any kind of paperwork surrounding that. And I just now, I don't know how long I can get away with this, but I have decided to not order any more checks. I've been able to do everything from the app on my phone. Every one of, hey Soul Camper, I think everyone had, or I should say every bank has an app at this point. And if you are not using a banking app, you should really check it out. I know this is a big struggle for a lot of folks. You want to hang on to your money and I have to see the statements. You don't have to. It's all very regulated and secure, and I love it. I love that I can be standing in line somewhere and, send payment to my virtual assistant. How would you suggest to go about becoming more reliant on or paper? I'm not sure I got that. You'd like to, great, kill more trees. Good for you. So where I go with this is we can then become aware of the different ways we are clogging up our offices, our homes with, everyone wants to hang on to these bank statements because it becomes a whole big deal to shred everything and keep it filed away and all of that stuff. So if you have not gotten your online banking started, I would suggest you look into that ASAP. And then on top of that, you might want to check in with your credit cards and do the same thing. Now, a lot of my cluttery folks say, oh, well, if I don't get the bank statement, I won't know my bank statement is, or my credit card statement is due. And really, folks, we all have these smartphones now. Use the calendar, set alarms, credit card due now. That's how I do it. I have an alert 3 days before the bill payment is due. I then go onto my app and I've got my credit cards all sitting in there. So it just says, go from checking, pay to this account. Go from checking, pay to this account. It's very easy. It's no nonsense. I love it, and it makes life a lot easier. Now, you will be getting emails of your credit card statements, and that can be like, oh, now you got to search through your email to find your statements. There is this fantastic app. It's also, I believe, a desktop. I only use it as an app. But what I love about this is it's called File This, and they have a forever free version, and that, what it does, it just pulls in all of your statements that are being emailed to you, and it files them by category. So you can just simply go in there, check your statements, find everything you need. It's very easy for tax time. Accountants make it very easy if accountants need to see anything. So File This is something I highly, highly, highly recommend. Now, when you sign up for this, they have, very easy how to use, how it's safe and secure, where your data is, and again, it connects with Evernote. Now, Evernote is something I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. Evernote is really cool. It's really a virtual filing system. So the virtual filing is really the same idea. You just create, they call them notebooks. So you might have a notebook for your MasterCard, credit card, and you can direct File This to that. And I think actually File This kind of creates its own notebook. It all sort of seamlessly works together. It also coordinates with Dropbox and with Drive. So whatever system you may or may not be using, I want you to just kind of like think about it. If it's something that feels like a stretch for you, I find the customer services for these, any of these, Evernote, File This, these communities are so open to teaching. A lot of them have webinars you can watch. And again, if you're watching this and you are interested in getting more organized, understand that you are creating a new habit, and that's going to take some time. It's going to take a new way of thinking about things. And you know, people say, oh, I don't want to spend the time doing it. Thank you for the hearts. If you want to get out of this clutter of paper, you're gonna have to put a little time into it. And it's not hard to do. It just is something, again, set it up in your calendar that Saturdays at 9 a.m. or noon or whenever's good for you, you're gonna spend an hour at least learning about how this could be done. And again, this isn't about going back in time and fixing what happened. This is from this day going forward, a new way to reduce the paper coming into your house. I'm sorry, I have such an itchy nose. So, the other thing I want to comment on with this idea of important papers is what you need to hold on to. Now, I think in different states they have different rules about taxes, so you want to, depend on where you live and what you do, you're going to check out what the amount of time. I think if you're a business owner, is different from when you're just an independent and you want to hold on to just your taxes. Other stuff like credit card statements, all that stuff lives in the cloud. And again, if you're not so sure about that and you're not sure how to find it, do some investigative work so you're really comfortable and you know. Don't just willy-nilly say, oh, I'm signing up for paperless, and then, you know, you're crying that you didn't pay your bills. You have to really get your head around this, that, okay, I'm not going to get the payment, I'm not going to get the notice in the mail. I'm going to actually have to alert myself and put it in your calendar. Now, I find that I have a credit card that sends me a text message of my balance and your payment's due in 5 days, which is great. That's a nice reminder too. It's still in my calendar, but you know, we're all so busy that it's really about making the tools we have, like these phones, work for you. You're not just using your phones for texting and Facebook. You are using them as the tools they are. These phones can do amazing things, whether it's finding great apps or setting your alarms to make sure you don't miss these bill pays. The other thing I want to mention is many of my clients are guilty of missing payments because they don't have a plan for their paper. So they're behind paying bills because they can't find their bills. So if you are committing to staying with paper statements, fine. I'm not saying you have to go paperless, but if you are going to continue receiving the paper in the mail, you need to set up a system that you're going to follow. And that would be, you bring in the mail. I don't know if you can see behind me, that little thing right there. That is just a wood bowl where I get the mail, and my husband's mail goes there, and also the junk mail goes there. And then my husband has the shredder, and he also has the recycling bin. So he takes it down and he deals with his mail and then junks the junk mail. I take my bills, and I know well, I actually don't get any bills, which is really great. But anything I get that's important goes in one area, and like I said, junk mail goes down to him. If I get a couple magazines, they live in that pile. So it's really about, and they're over there because that's where I'm going to read the magazines. Bills or whatever I get in the mail, which isn't much, comes to my desk in a certain specific area. And again, junk goes elsewhere. So it's really about creating zones for how you're using or needing to go through these papers. So just a couple of those things to think about. I'm going to wrap up today, and I hope you guys got something out of this. I know it's a lot to take in, but again, go to filethis.com. It really, I gotta say, technology is there for all of us, and they keep improving it and making it more streamlined and easier for people who don't even know how to like open apps or use them. It's so user-friendly and so intuitive, and it's just sort of you sign up and then you don't even really have to think about it unless you need to look for a statement and review it and kind of see where your spending's going. So tomorrow, let me just look at my schedule. Tomorrow is our third part of Paperless. I'm going to talk more about Evernote, a little more in depth, and I'm also going to talk about this. This is my electronic pen and my LiveScribe notebook. LiveScribe, this is magical. I can't wait to share that with you tomorrow. And hopefully it's quitting time for a bunch of you soon. Happy Friday. Thank you for tuning in. And I will see you tomorrow when we talk about our final Going Paperless. Have a great night. Thanks for signing on. I appreciate it. Love, love, love you.